Row and the Bounty Hunter Bloods and Nickers and Garland's housing projects would go back and forth. Many altercations had happened. This was behind Harry-O allegedly starting up Death Row with his money, and he was affiliated with the Bounty Hunters. He was double-crossed by Suge Knight and David Kenner. One particular bounty hunter named Bounty Hunter Rat Dog put so much fear in Suge Knight's heart that Suge Knight had no choice but to have him unalived allegedly. Now, this all started with Death Row and Harry-O going back and forth. Harry-O would send his goons up there. Harry-O actually said that he actually provided the money to start up Death Row.
The situation, I tell you this, Mike Harris was firmly planted in the middle of it.
On the news, they used to call Mike the Godfather.
Tonight, the story of a man who tried to murder his best friend. At the same time, he was attempting to win his way into Beverly Hills acceptance.
This is Michael Harris, a man drug agents describe as a major cocaine trafficker. At the young age of 26, he had already made millions of dollars. These are his roots, the streets of South Central Los Angeles.
In downtown Los Angeles.
When I asked the question to what does it actually take, he told me that we could be 50-50 partners for about $1.5 million. To David and Suge is that I do not include my name in the corporation, and that these guys can go ahead and do the actual upfront managing and representing of the company.
Harry-O and Suge made a deal, but when Death Row took off, David Kenner, who introduced Harry-O to Suge Knight, would side with Suge and completely cut off Harry-O. This would infuriate Harry-O, as Harry-O had got the word in prison that David Kenner and Suge is not rocking with you no more after the $1.5 million he agreed on to help start up Death Row. Now, Harry-O also funded Denzel Washington early in his career and gave him his start. And that's why Harry-O, when he came home from prison, he would take pictures with Denzel Washington. Denzel would acknowledge that Harry-O and him had known each other once upon a time. Now, that is legendary in itself. I think even more so than him funding and starting up Death Row.
I think he was the first African-American ever to produce a Broadway show that was a smash, and it gave Denzel Washington his start.
Checkmate was the name of the play. The play opened on Broadway.
But when he would go down and visit Mike, him and Kenner would say it wasn't true, but Mike said, "Hey, what's this in the newspaper?" And Suge would say, "Oh, you know how the newspaper print up articles." So I asked him, David, what's going on? Then David came and said, "Suge did this behind my back."
Suge got a taste of the spotlight. He wanted it, and he wanted it by himself. If Suge didn't want to be my partner, I didn't have a problem with that. But at least compensate me for my time and the money that I invested.
Mike
Both crossed me. The person that brought them together.
I should. I like him. Go talk to him. Okay, a record company? Okay, I give you this amount of money. You tell him to do this. Okay, then him and Suge talking. Suge going to visit him. Suge, check this out. Put it down like this. Keep him out of jail. But guess what? Soon the money come in. Who? Harry-O. They turn to Scooby-Doo on it. Who's that?
Man, Harry-O really started up Denzel Washington's career, which is crazy. I think that's more legendary in itself than helping start up Death Row. That's just my opinion. But when Harry-O found out that Suge Knight and David Kenner both had double-crossed him, that's when he would get the word. He would send bounty hunter goons up there from the Nickerson Garden projects to confront Suge and press Suge. Now, this was well talked about, but at the same time, this was early on, before Bounty Hunter Rat Dog, the man who actually put so much fear in Suge's heart, who ended up passing away, allegedly by Death Row Poochie. So it begins with a couple of goons pushing up on Suge Knight and asking, "Where's the money at? Where's Harry-O's money?"
And the homie said, "That's the nigga right there. I'll bring it to me." Suge looks, and Green Eye said, "Come here, nigga." And so I engaged him as well. "Check it out, champ." And Suge made a beeline towards the elevator. Said, "Oh, I gotta take care of something." He took off. Anybody else would have came, they would have got more. Harry-O was sending some dudes who couldn't get the job done. The niggas wouldn't let nobody come up in here. What was that? Blood power, get the fuck out of here. And they was fucking them niggas up. They running them all, the hoes. Green Eyes got in his face, told him, "Nigga, I'm OG Green Eyes." Suge was like, they said, "What's up, Suge?" He said, "I don't know, man. These niggas talking about I gotta go downstairs." Bonnie on a nigga, and you finna go down here and talk to the homie. Nigga,
Now Harry-O was sending goons up there from his own neighborhood, from the Low Bottoms, which is on the east side of South Central, where he was from. That's initially where he was from. People thought he was from the Bounty Hunters, but that's not true. But he was affiliated with the Bounty Hunters. It wasn't until he had started sending BJ and Rat Dog, two notorious OGs from the Bounty Hunters, that Suge Knight would really get the message. That's when things really started to get serious and altercations would start happening. Now, Bounty Hunter BJ and Rat Dog was crazy dudes, especially Bounty Hunter Rat Dog. He put in a lot of work out there in them streets. And a lot of people say he was a killer and a fighter. And Suge Knight knew that very well, because the homies that was with him, that was his homies from PIRUS, they pretty much told him this guy ain't no joke.
Storyline of get at them peoples. There's people in the bottoms, the people from the ozone. Them niggas was going to get him to get his money, and they wasn't budging. So the message got sent through us, through another party, and he brought it to us. So that's what happened, my niggas. So true facts, true story, twice, not once, but twice. Time he got hit, this is when big GIs were smashing and doing this shit. Not at the gym. 4 to 5 months later, down the line, round 2 happened.
Now, this is the first time things actually got physical and an altercation happened behind all this stuff. And this is when Bounty Hunter BJ and Rat Dog would enter the picture. It was a fight at the Marriott between the Death Row PIRUS, where Suge was there, and a bunch of other dudes that was also there. And Bounty Hunter Rat Dog and BJ would make themselves known. And that's when BJ actually called out Suge Knight for a fade.
Suge really actually met me was I called him out for a fight at the Marriott. That's what I told you. Marriott, we in the elevator. It's me, Rat Dog, Big Chin from Westside PIRUS, Big Chip, Big Wayne, Uncle Mike, Chris Cross. You feel what I'm saying? Me.
Now, this is the first time Suge Knight and Bounty Hunter BJ and Rat Dog would cross paths, and Bounty Hunter Rat Dog was no joke. So ever since after they had met and seen each other, and he knew Bounty Hunter Rat Dog was here for no games along with BJ, he would cut a check every time Bounty Hunter Rat Dog would come in the office. The check was there on the table, no questions, no talking. Bounty Hunter Rat Dog would get the check and he would leave straight away. This shows you how Suge Knight knew not to play with guys like BJ and Bounty Hunter Rat Dog.
Rat, green eyes.
Bounty Hunter Rat.
You know, my relative, meet your boy, rest in peace. Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter Rat.
I got, FTV. Was actually
James was there.
You was standing next to Suge, me and my OG homie Walter, Big Walt. And what happened was, Bounty Hunter Rat and Green Eyes walked up to him. But when I seen Green Eyes walking toward him, I already know. Hold up, homie. I can't let you do that. He said, no, it ain't what you think. I said, Bounty Hunter Rat.
Suge went in there voluntarily.
And Bounty Hunter Rat said, no, I got him. I need to holler at this cat. Yeah. It's business.
Where's Bounty Hunter Rat at now? Oh, okay.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
All right.
See, you shouldn't even did that.
Do a boy like that.
Do what boy like that? Suge. So, anyway, when Rat said I want to holler at him, Suge already know I got him. I got 2 pistols on me. Yeah. Bounty Hunter Rat got 13, 14-year-old cats, all of them pistoled up. So when him and Green Eyes said we gotta get at him, because already money is being taken from him to give to Harry-O.
Yeah.
He been paying his debt or what he owed or whatever Harry-O wanted. These is my goons, nigga. They here. So he knew what was going on. So I'm not gonna let y'all take him in his bathroom. So Walt said, hold up, homie. Bounty Hunter Rat don't know Walt. So he look at Walt like, nigga, we can do some. Now hold up, Rat. So Suge said, no, I got it, I'm going there. Suge, are you serious? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I'll be out in a minute. So I backed up and said, told Rat, go on, handle your business.
So was it just them two?
Suge, Bounty Hunter Rat, and Green Eyes.
Okay, so that's 3.
Stood right there.
Bob Gotti said he went in there too.
No, Bob Gotti didn't go in there.
Okay.
I was there.
All right.
And when that happened...
You saying about Gotti wasn't there?
No, I didn't say he wasn't at the shoot.
Okay.
He wasn't in that room, in that bathroom. This for sure. I know that. Ask Walter.
But wouldn't FO...
The little homies can't fuck with the big homies.
Yeah.
They can't fuck with the big homies. Bounty Hunter Rat was a big homie. I mean, they had the pressure on as if you don't, you already know what I'm talking about. It's been times when Rat and them come to the goddamn office and motherfuckers just slide that shit, no conversation, get that shit, get that package off the table and leave. Conversation whatsoever. So don't, right, man, my nigga rest in peace. Y'all don't do him like that. He was with the business.
Yeah.
And Suge knew he was a soldier, and when he saw a Bounty Hunter Rat, straighten that shit up. And he did what he had to do. I ain't gonna sugarcoat shit for Suge. He paid his way. And he knew he had to pay. He knew he owed those guys. So when he saw those faces, he already knew what the situation was. So doing that video in there, I thought they was finna do him. Like on some real shit. And that was the atmosphere. That was the whole feeling. Ask Walt. I ain't got no... It felt fucked up. And that's why one of my reasons for not wanting Suge to go in there. You know what I'm saying? Now, thank you. We in the projects. It's 14... all the little boys out there got guns. Babies.
And if you look at that video...
And they was all packing.
Yep.
Got killed,
yeah.
But we done took some of them with us because they were standing too close together.
Yeah.
But no, man, but that wouldn't have been worth it. That was a beef that has nothing to do with us.
With the hoods.
You know what I'm saying? That's a money proposition that man made with another person, and now you don't want to, do what you have to do. That ain't our business. That ain't our fight. So that was one fight Suge had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like with the goddamn Rams. This is a fight you got to deal with. Why are we fighting for your book?
Green Eyes did
Always suspected.
their own thing? Or...
No, they was there for Harrio.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say that. Yeah, I mean, what other reason why they be there? Would they be there? They not just extorting money from Suge. First it started off, my boy said, come holler at you.
Yeah. It mainly was David Kenner, too. We was at the office one day, and they came up to the office, and David Kenner off the elevator. And they all, about 5 of them, and we were just so happy getting in the elevator, coming off the elevator. And they had David Kenner on the elevator, was on the way
5
down.
of them bounty hunters?
Yeah. But it was about 7 or 8 of us coming, and we got on the elevator. And they just walked, and they just kept walking. And David Kenner stayed on the elevator. And David Kenner was like, oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Y'all just saved my life.
But moves that he made, that was a fucked up move by him. Now, you be touched by this cat. That's any one of us. I got you. What can you do to me from where you stand? And that's being in prison for the rest of your life. So you feel you good. Now you bring everybody else into your book. This person has friends, goons. I get it. If you paying me good, we going. And that's with anybody in the hood. The big homie, the homie's got a problem, and it's concerning money. Let's roll.
But I'm upset about it.
What are you trying to tell you? They low on the totem pole. They only got
I didn't say they was low on the totem pole.
Well,
what I'm saying is
they were little homies.
That was a situation that they could not even get involved in unless it turned into something that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like me personally, the only reason why I spoke on it is because I didn't want them to do Suge. And I wasn't finna let it happen like that. You know what I'm saying? But I was assured. Suge said, I got it. I'm gonna go in here and let me talk to him real quick. But looking at me like, you know what I'm saying? So when he said that, okay, I'm already knowing what you're going in there for. I know what they're talking about. You've been dodging the phone calls. You ain't been sitting at that package like it's supposed to be. Nigga, what's happening? So
James say them bounty hunters were no joke. They even tried to kidnap David Kennerman, the lawyer that actually hooked up Harrio with Suge Knight. So them dudes was no joke. Now Suge Knight was caught slipping in the Nickerson Gardens housing projects by the bounty hunters. It was for music video for OFTB, who was actually from the Bounty Hunters, who was signed to Suge Knight. Now this caused a lot of complications because OFTB was signed to Death Row, but they was from the Bounty Hunters. So that whole politics with Harry O and all that was very, very tricky. So Suge went out there for the first time to actually support OFTB, not knowing that Bounty Hunter Rat and Bounty Hunter BJ was gonna be there. Now, sure enough, Bounty Hunter BJ, Rat Dog, did show up. Now, this altercation was the altercation that made Suge Knight decide enough is enough. Bounty Hunter Rat Dog got to go, and pretty much that's what happened 3 months later. Now, this is the first time he actually stepped foot in the Bounty Hunters, and he was scared, as Bounty Hunter BJ would explain.
And who put Suge ass in the goddamn gym bathroom, nigga? Bounty Hunter BJ and Rat Dog. Really, dog, followed my lead, nigga, had my back. Suge wasn't scared. That nigga was terrified in them motherfucking Nixon guards for the first time in his life. He don't even talk like that. So for the first time in his life, he ain't never been in the projects ever in his goddamn life. That nigga was shaking bricks. And yeah, he had some niggas with him. He had real hitters with him. But they our homies. We all grew up with them niggas. They all knew us. So them niggas knew. Man, them Bounty Hunter niggas ain't no joke, man. These niggas, when they get to set tripping, they trips. They regulate that situation at the gym. Not no green eyes. I don't know. G-Eyes and Rat Dog ain't never ran together. And then try to put Willie Dog in a position like Rat did the regulating, and I wasn't there. Never said, you beat Rat Dog up, homie. Because you can't whoop Rat Dog. Police or not, you would have never put your hands on my homie.
Rat Dog, those are real killers, man. We talking about real killers from the second generation.
After the altercation at the Bounty Hunters at the Nicholson Garden projects, Suge Knight knew that Bounty Hunter Rat Dog was going to be a problem, so he decided to exile Rat Dog, and Rat Dog will be unalived 3 months later.
One of Suge Knight's shooters. One particular incident involving Poochie was the murder of an individual named William Ratcliffe, who was a bounty hunter in the Nickerson Gardens housing project, who had threatened Suge. William Ratcliffe was run to ground on the streets of Compton and executed. Suge allegedly said in regard to Poochie's actions, "He doesn't fuck around, that's how I want him to do it."
Now, Rat Dog didn't really stand no chance. He didn't see it coming, because his murder pretty much came from two dudes wearing ski masks, and he had no idea. As he was fixing a car, they pretty much shot him. Now, the LA Times article on Rat Dog's death pretty much explains how he went out. It goes on to say 2 men wearing ski masks and armed with assault weapons shot and killed a Westminster resident and wounded another man. William Holt Jr., 33 of Westminster, was gunned down about 8:15 p.m. Thursday while he and Lee Andrew Tiffith of Carson were working on Tiffith's car in a well-lit area near 134th Street and Central Avenue.
Or you was on Vlad and you said you saw them in the parking lot, a 662, and you said that's the south side?
Okay. What led to that is we already got our beef going with the south sides. I was getting reports that, you know, the south side don't want it, they're going to be in Vegas. So my daughter's mama lived right across the street from Keeper D and Paula on California Street. And I never had a problem picking up my daughter in south side, even up to this beef. And but I was told that they was coming to Vegas and they was coming to 662, yada yada. No, that they were going to the fights. And I just basically told the homeboys to be ready if they do come through there. So I saw a car. But let me not even say that, because KBD case is over. It's still going on. And they can't call me to come testify and say I saw a car. So let's pass on that.
All right. Respect that. So at that time, all right, so I'm trying to derail from that. I understand what you were talking about on that. But how you feel when Suge saying Keefy D didn't do it, though?
It pissed me off. Now, here you got all these men protecting him, done fought for him. And here Keefy D talking about how they were shaking in the car and all this bullshit. You got the nerve to say free Keepy D? What about the homies that would put their life on the line for you? What about the homies who was going out there fighting this bad boy death row war back and forth in neighborhoods?
Can I play like devil's advocate right quick? So you think Suge should have said he saw him? You think he should have admitted to that? I think by him saying that is like, I'm not trying to tell on him. No, I think that was a way of.
See, it was already street politics going on. And then when that happened, it intensified the situation. Suge didn't have to say a motherfucking thing. Damn sure he shouldn't have said free Keepy D. He damn sure shouldn't have said Whoop the Whoop didn't do it. Now he's saying I never paid nobody no money. Why you pay this boy this money in that fight in the MGM? My little brother in that fight, the homies in that fight, and Suge was in that fight.
You know why he paid him? He was trying to beat the case, bro.
Yeah.
He denying paying him, but he did some bitch shit because he ain't tell. He gave that nigga more money than he was giving the homies over there. But I'm going to keep it real. Him saying free Keepy D ain't a bad thing. What really is a bad thing is the homies, niggas like K-Dub. We got to stop protecting shit because they from our side, telling, giving description of the cars and shit. It's a lot of bad shit went on with that mob. You know that, bro. I got to work. I got some ugly work over here. You know what I'm saying? It's real shit.
Let me elaborate on what you're saying. Because, and then the paperwork that Lil Keepy put out there with all the names on it.
No, that's just a list. All that is a list.
I know. That's just a list.
Yeah.
But all of those names and all of the people from Southside to the mob to people that were selling.
Well, I just got the PIRUS list. I ain't get the Crip list.
Okay, see, that's what they didn't want to do.
Now I'm gonna tell you this though. I personally called the nigga when I got the list. I said, hey homie, this list is here. I'm looking at it. What's happening? You on the nigga list. On everything PIRUS stand for. Blood said, all I did was give a description of the Cadillac. I said, Blood, that's foul. You out of line. And then I hit two. One from Fruit, you know who it is. And I hit the other homie, Monkey Man. And send it, you get what I'm saying? So Blood, in the minute to that, we got to stop cleaning it up. Niggas do mark shit on our side. Blood is mark shit, homie. PIRUS, Crip, or whatever. I ain't protecting none of these niggas. None of that night mob gangs. You know that, bro. Keefy wasn't wrong because if it would have been you, you would have did the same shit to a nigga. If not worse back then.
Wait a minute, what you mean Keefy D went wrong? About what?
I'm going to tell you why. Okay, let the roles be reversed, right? And I ain't using that name because that's the G homie.
What didn't do wrong? You said he went wrong.
He ain't do nothing wrong that night. He ain't do nothing wrong that night because his retaliation is what was expected. If a nigga would have put hands on Timmy like that, right? And he doubled back, man, you niggas would have got out the car on them niggas.
Okay. I've said this in many interviews. I said the homies dropped the ball that night when Orlando was jumped on. They dropped the ball. I said
also, they should have finished it. Yeah.
Let me finish. What I said was Tupac has never seen Orlando, a Southside kid in his life.
That's a fact.
He been hanging with Suge. So if a rapper touched me, like Suge said, Tupac put his hands on me, I'm gonna tell you now.
Come on, bro. But listen, let's stop. Look, Mob, listen, bro. We got a lot of differences, but the bullshit he say, stop entertaining it, bro. Like everybody know, and if the world don't know, yeah, like him saying Pac put his hands on you, he wasn't gonna put his hands on you. That's just that nigga talking, bro.
I'd have killed him. I wouldn't have had.
That's a fact.
Right now,
and I'm gonna speak. Look, listen, we got our differences today, right? That's what it is, right? But I will say this: back then in them days, if it wasn't for Mob James, it wouldn't have been a Buntry, it wouldn't have been a Neck, it wouldn't have been a lot of shit over there because he started that trend. He created that, and the homies followed Mob James because of who he was. It wouldn't have been the death row the way it was. So when he's saying that shit, we all know you the nigga he leaned on for the strength. So ain't no way a little nigga like Pac is gonna be pressing you.
Well,
That's just Suge talk.
Well, we know the truth about that. And I say this, Mob James was no different than a Buntry, a Neckbone, Heron, a George, none of them.
I mean, all that was.
But no, let me say, you know, all the homies was on the same level, the same page, and understood. One take off, we all take off. And
well, that's the rules. That's how it always been.
Right. So with the KPD thing, you know, I would have did the same thing. Nigga take off.
That's what I'm saying. So if you would have did the same thing, right? Wouldn't you want a nigga saying free Mob James if you was up against it?
I've been promoting that from the longest. I take my licks like the homies should take their licks. What happened at the MGM? What Suge should have did is got Tupac out the fuck up out of there, and Trayvon should have went over there and handled his business.
That's a fact. Trayvon bitch ass, and he always do that. Run back, whisper. He always do that punk shit. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So that night would have been totally different. Tupac would have still been alive, probably.
And me and you both know, listen, me and you both know KVD ain't gonna hurt a butterfly. Now, he might send something, but he personally ain't finna do a motherfucker. You know that.
Well, the thing that, the emphasis that they put on KVD, the shit that he got in his book, KVD has never been one I ever ran to on some gangbanging shit.
No, he was a hustler. He wasn't a banger. He was a hustler. He from where he from, but he ain't like, bro, he from where he from, but he ain't that. Everybody ain't that. You know that, homie.
Well, I know.
So let me ask you, Mob, let me ask you a question, right? Yeah. You think if you was at the MGM at that night, you think it would have been different? Like if you think you could have stopped Tupac from spazzing out that night?
Hell yeah.
I know it would have been different.
Hell yeah. He wouldn't have did that because he'd have thought Mob would have tripped on him.
If not, Trey would have got his motherfucking ass whooped.
That's
I know for a fact that Tupac don't know who Orlando is.
He didn't know who he was.
I know Trayvon went to him instead of the homies. And people fail to realize this was the reason why Suge had the homies there. Now, it's heated between the mob and Southside. So it's on site. It wasn't for Tupac. I never considered Tupac to be...
that nigga ain't a PIRUS, period.
No, listen. When they came with it, and Trey was, he from the hood, that's the only problem I ever had with Tupac. Tupac ain't spilled no blood on our soil. Tupac ain't never been in our clique. Tupac ain't never did shit for the hood. So that was the only problem I had with that young man. You ain't from the hood. And I had my argument. Bitch, shut the fuck up, nigga. Type shit. So it wasn't.
I mean, but listen, Mom, here go the thing. Let's keep it all the way gangster. Trey was a rip before he put a burgundy flag in his pocket. Blood ain't solid. These niggas don't be wanting to tell what's real around this motherfucker.
Look,
ain't no nigga that come from the other side, cross over to our side, and call no dogs. You feel me? The homies didn't accepted you or whatever. You know that, homie.
Whack, you got a whole lot of motherfucking PIRUS from everywhere that lived in this hood and then moved here.
I ain't saying lived. I'm talking about lock that motherfucking blue bandana around their hand and rep that shit. I ain't tripping lived.
Trayvon never came to the hood. When he came to the hood, he came to his grandmama house. And I mean, Trayvon is a long story, but short. You know, no, he wasn't off the porch in the hood. He wasn't hanging with Jimmy and his crew. No, he wasn't around. He came after the fact, way, way after the fact. And then Buntry and them took a liking to this dude. Trayvon first time in the county jail was with me in the blood module. And he got pressed. Nigga, you better fight if I was in the blood module, getting played with, getting fucked with or whatever. So the politics is totally different in each hood. Each hood was different.
I mean, it's always been that way, but the overall thing is this, and you know it, nigga, if you was once from the other side,
somehow, some way, through family, friends, or whatever the fuck. It's only, your voice only goes so far. You know that.
He never had a voice. He never had a voice. He had a voice that night whispering to Tupac. That's the nigga that jumped him.
Now, Mom, let me ask you a question, bro.
What?
Do you think, and have you thought about what you say when you speak on Buntry and who did that to him? Do you think it's right that you saying that out loud? That
you ain't never heard me say who killed Buntry.
No, you don't say a name, but you say PIRUS.
If any cat feel that I'm wrong for saying,
I'm asking you as a, like.
Let me explain to you. If anybody feel any kind of way about me saying the homies killed my brother, and this is why I'm not a PIRUS today, because the PIRUS killed my brother, bring their ass.
No, listen. Your reason for not being a PIRUS today, and that's another conversation that I'm not gonna have with you on the stage, because you in here being a guest of the, the homie, right? But what I'm saying, even if that was the fact, right? And if that's your feelings of why you ain't that, okay, cool. That's probably a secondary reason. But do you think it's right for you to even voice that the PIRUS did it? Or just like leave that where it's at? You know what you know, you gonna do what you gonna do, and you not being a part of something for whatever reason, that's what it is. Because really, when you that's a cold case. Ain't nobody been arrested for Buntry's homicide. So when you say a PIRUS did it, you kind of isolating with shit. It's on this side when they looking at everybody. Or are you saying that you would like the killer to be apprehended by the law?
That don't make sense, bro.
Let me reset the room, man. It's Stack City TV, man. Everybody ping up, share the room. We got Mob James in here. He's talking to Whack 100. But let me ask you a question right quick, Mob.
Let him answer that. That's a serious question I asked, bro. That's like saying a nigga in New York get killed, right? Your brother, and you say them Queens niggas. Right? It's like, okay, now the law is like, well, shit, let's isolate Queens instead of the whole New York. So you want the police to, because, when we come from Mob, we don't want the police to catch the nigga. You want to catch the nigga,
So why you think ain't nobody went to jail for it? Why you think ain't nobody speaking on it? It's like I said, my brother been gone 23 years, homie.
Yeah, I know.
23 years. So to sit here and say we know who did it, I'm not gonna do that.
But what I'm saying, when you say the PIRUS did it,
you gotta let me.
You get what I'm saying?
You ask me, and let me explain this here to you so you can get it clear. My brother was killed by the homie. So if the homies killed my brother, I'm gonna say the homies killed my brother.
We don't know who, but we don't know who killed it.
I'm not speaking on. I'm saying homies.
But you specifically said PIRUS killed my brother.
And I'm gonna say it again specifically. My brother was killed by the homies. Period.
And you don't find nothing wrong with that? Like saying that?
If anybody finds something wrong with it, I ain't hiding.
No, listen. I'm not going. I ain't going to do that with you because I'm a. That's a G homie, right? But I'm saying you don't think like saying that is like helping the law enforcement.
You didn't want to get no get back.
I'm not finna argue. I'm not finna.
Nah, we're not arguing, bro. I promise you.
What I'm saying to you.
With the PIRUS got a rule like the 60s or some shit? Like you ain't a rule until you kill a rule?
This wasn't
not at all.
This wasn't
we don't do none of that.
No, listen.
But go ahead,
I'm saying when he says, look, the homie get killed, right? Buntry was a G homie, right? So it's a cold case. It could have been PIRUS, Crips, it could have been a Mexican, could have been anybody as far as the police is concerned. But when you got somebody like Mob James who's reputable and has a voice and says the PIRUS did it, then that'll make the police say, well, let's isolate to the PIRUS. It's pushing them closer and then them apprehending the motherfucker. So it's kind of like you helping the law enforcement. You giving that ain't what we do.
It ain't only 5 PIRUS that they can look at and say whoop whoop whoop. I ain't never said nobody's name. And I'm past Wack. I'm past that because my brother been gone 23 years.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I ain't never gonna disrespect Buntry. I'm just saying, me as a homie, I feel like, bro, when you say that, it's kind of a little too much. And you know, like I said, Buntry, a G homie, he's somebody I always honored and respected. So I'm never gonna get into it. I'm never gonna get into an argument. But it's like,
so can I ask the floor something right quick though? Hey, Wack, let me ask the floor something right quick. I wanted to ask, right, because you know this is going around YouTube now that Suge is saying Reggie Wright has something to do with it.
Nah, right? That's cap. We just talking, bro. Reggie,
I know that.
Reggie was at the club, my nigga. Like Reggie wasn't even there. Reggie was at the fucking club, bro. Like,
no, I want to hear
something to do a Buntry.
Huh?
We're talking to do a Buntry or Tupac.
No, Buntry. They said
hell nah. Reggie ain't had nothing to do. Reggie wasn't no. He wasn't.
Nah, I know we know that, but I just want to hear Mob James' point because that's what Suge be saying.
At the end of the day, Suge bitch ass Suge really need to stop talking about that shit because
let me say this, Wack. If that was aired in the hood, I'd have cut ties with Reggie's family.
I mean, I already know that.
Ties with Reggie.
Reggie wouldn't do that though, bro. That ain't even nothing to talk about, bro. Like that ain't cool, bro. That's Suge bitch ass just making up shit. Like, you know, he just be saying shit because he think niggas gonna believe him. You know what I mean? If that's the case, then Suge, why did you continue to deal with Reggie? Nigga, if you saying that, then why you continue to deal with him?
That's why I got confused. I'm like,
why did you go to the funeral and sit up there and say the death will be revenge if you saying you know it's Reggie? Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Hey, could I say something, Stacks?
Go ahead.
Check this out, right? Anytime, like, you know, I don't know California politics, but if a nigga say, oh, like, certain things happen, oh, Jake and them did it out of 16th Street, that's like giving the law a pointing finger where to start their case up. So far as him saying that the PIRUS did that, he should have never said that. He should have just took his business.
That's a fact.
And keep it closed.
Hey.
You know, and I'm going to keep it real. I don't even fuck with Wack. I don't like Wack, but he right about that.
God damn, you don't like me? What I do to you? I'm done. Hey, bro, listen. I'm going to be real. Ain't no way. It ain't no way, bro. There's no way, bro, that I cannot like a stranger, my nigga. That shit is crazy.
What do you be doing to these niggas, man?
Hey, Stack said, don't like me.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Rich. It's on Rich. One mic on Rich. Go ahead, Rich.
All right, look.
Hold on. Before you go, Reggie Wright in the building. Somebody bring Reggie Wright up right quick, and then you go ahead and.
I'm driving.
I can't see him. We at. I see his name pop up. Yeah, bro. You bring him up. All right. Go ahead, Rich.
All right. Now going back to the conversation that Wack and Reggie and Mob James was having, there seemed to be some type of discrepancy there when Mob said it was a reason why